Chaos Reign. Uh, uh, yes. Welcome, guys. Welcome again to another stream, another live stream or podcast, what you want to call it, here on the Chaos Rain Show. I am Chaos Rain here, and today or tonight, well, let's see if we got some fun with this. But before I begin, 1 second. All right. The links to follow me are the above. You can follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. You can add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Graham Facebook. You could join the Discord service of the Chaos Rain Show as well. And one other thing, please follow me on my role page as well. I put the links in the chat room and in the description of this video, so make it a little easier. Follow me on Rumble, and last but not least, become a member of the Chaos Rain Show as well. You're sure we'll like it. Membership has perks. Does support the channel. Like always. So, so please, follow my links and become a member. Support the boy Chaos Rain. You know how I do it. All right. So let me check some things because I'm gonna look back and forth on the chat room sometimes. And as you know, I did post links. For those that wants to join the conversation, you can. Like always. Boy, what an interesting week we had. And just in time for the summer. This is summertime 2024 edition open panel of the Chaos Rain Show. You know how I do it. And I don't know why this AI looks so weird. It looks broken. I don't know. I should have fixed that. Oh well, I ain't gonna bother fix it. It's the best I could do. I will say this. I know it's gonna be very much a hot summer. I can feel it. I don't know how intense the summer's gonna get, but it's just starting. I think the intensity is gonna go more into the how you say with content creators moving forward. I think the one thing that I've noticed that was very trending was the man that I might play today of the what's his name? So handsome. But we shall see. We shall see. Wait, do I have Smite? Is that you, Mike TV? Hello?
That's good. The one and only.
How you doing, Mike? How's everything? Everything good, brother?
Yep, yeah, I just finished streaming a little while ago. Just stepped outside to have a joint and saw you were live, so I thought I'd chop it up for a little bit.
Okay. Well, since you're here because you're more the trending content creator as you are, I'm gonna ask your opinion because you've been watching content enough, and you do your content as you please. In regards to, cause you remember you had a dating show one time with the was it Tinder or remember that?
Yeah. It was a couple different sites I used. They were all linked. It was like shoot, why can't I think of any now? Plenty of Fish,
Yeah, that was a good one.
Zeus,
Yeah.
Cupid, something. Yeah.
Have you tried Bumble?
So for dating purposes, I've tried Bumble, but I didn't do the whole comedy dating show live stream thing on Bumble because I don't think Bumble has a live streaming feature.
Oh, I didn't know that. But I think they're about to go out of business. From what I'm hearing, rumor right now with Bumble,
I
because
wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if you actually look into the business behind these like big dating apps, like
yeah.
99% of them are all owned by the Match Group, and the Match Group is the ones who own eHarmony, Match.com, et cetera, et cetera. So this is
Okay.
like the oldest trick in the book. What big companies do, like Pepsi and Cola, because they have such huge brand recognition, is they'll
Mhm.
buy smaller brands and operate them under these other names. So when we think that we're on Plenty of Fish or we're on Zoosk or we're on Bumble, we're really still under the umbrella of eHarmony and Match.com.
I did not know that. Okay, so it's like a chain. It's like a online chain, in regards to finding
Google
the.
it.
So
It's called the Match Group. If you Google the Match Group,
let me do it right now.
it'll yeah,
All right.
it'll pop up all the different dating apps
Google.
that they have and stuff. It's the same thing as Facebook. Facebook is Facebook. Facebook is popular. Well, Facebook isn't so popular anymore, so they buy Instagram. So now Instagram is the next popular thing, but Facebook is running Instagram.
Oh, I see it. I see global root play. Okay, yeah, I see match trending bars. Yeah, I see all of it. Okay. Oh, interesting.
So yes, Bumble may be going out of business, but Bumble is just one of dozens of different dating apps that the conglomerate known as the Match Group has under their umbrella.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like when you did the data show for a time being, regardless who watch or not, because it's very interesting to see, when people match how people interact. Spitting game. Seeing how people interact. And you did pretty
Oh
well.
yeah, hey, it was definitely interesting. I mean, it definitely didn't get as many live viewers as like my exposés and stuff, but people were
Yeah.
really interested. It was super hilarious, a really good time. Honestly, I haven't seen anybody else even do anything like that on YouTube, so I might even bring it back one of these days.
Well, maybe if you have a different strategy how to go, because think about it now, Mike. The thing with what I'm about to ask you right now, the pop the balloon thing that's been very much
Yeah.
catching, I would say catching fire right now, especially with the brother that got fired. Is a lot of people now, especially the woman that created, they're watching like these dating shows. Like you came up with the idea on the online thing. They just
Hmm.
take what they see and say, we could do a live personnel with people
Yep.
and make it interesting. But remember, people just don't come up with just anything. They watch what potentially works, and it's I
Oh
could
yeah.
take a existing product and make it better, and it worked for Arietta. So it's like this. If your thing was picking wave like, and I think it should because no one else. I agree with you. Has not done it. If you kept on it, I think it will start catching attention. Sorry,
Well, see, if
attention. Yeah.
if you're consistent with anything, it'll catch on, especially if it's good. But my
Yeah.
thing is, if I brought it back, I would just have to do it on like its own separate channel because it's its own separate unique content. It doesn't fit in with me talking about Native Black American history or exposing content creators. So that's something where I would just make my own channel for it. And I actually already do have a channel that I already made for it, and it has a couple thousand subs. I just been busy with a bunch of other stuff, so I haven't thought about, restarting the live dating streams. But yeah, it's something I should probably get on because it was profitable, it was fun, and yeah, I don't see nobody else doing it.
Yeah, because and the reason why I mentioned it because I know it's going to pick up now if you try to do it now since you create a different channel because everybody is keeping their eyes on who matches, who's out there, if these people are serious or are their standards legit. Can you think about with KG, with her live streams, right, with the women, a bunch of big mamas, right? It's just crazy, bro. It's just crazy. And I'm thinking, say, what? If a man to control this, he could present some much better professional than this. You get me? It might be funny and it brings some substance. I'm not saying she can't do a bad job, but I just don't. Only a few women could get away with it. You get it? You get Mike TV? Not every person can do this. You get me?
Yeah, no, I feel you. You definitely have to have the talent for it.
Yeah. Hey, what's good, Dr.
Yeah.
Funder? How you doing? Hope everything's good with you, Dr. Funder. Yeah, because I might just play the video of this man that got fired. He is picking up Storm, and like I
Who?
said, He's picking up very much the guy that got fired, the plumber.
Oh,
He's
okay, yeah.
yeah, and I might talk about him today a little bit. I'm not sure. I think this is probably the last time I talk about it because I watched what his last interview, and I have questions about it, But like I said, you got strike while the iron's hot, and I think that's what he's doing right now. But
Oh, so he's probably going on podcast tours and doing interviews and stuff right now, or what?
yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He
Hey,
went
he's
on
trying
one.
to soak up that 5 minutes of fame.
Got to. I mean, think about it. You only got one chance to live, especially when you know you can get the real attention, like the eyeballs on you. You want to take as many opportunities possible.
Hey, you know who's been squandering? Who's absolutely been squandering their 5 minutes of fame and crashing out?
Who's that?
Brandon Jamal.
Oh wow! I never thought of that. Now I think about because
he's crashing out like a motherfucker. He got kicked off Fresh and Fit. I did 3 live streams in a row about him. I got exclusive footage on my channel. I'll share it with you if you want. But I got exclusive footage of him tripping, drunk and high in his car, crying and shit for 2 hours. Yeah, it was wild.
I didn't know that. Maybe he's not dealing with the fame so fast. I think what hurt him is he start dealing with the interviews. In my opinion, I think that's what really started hurt him. Instead, just continue with the music, because if you're a certain person, if you go on certain podcasts and they really start questioning you and like put the pressure, and you act a certain way, people gonna have really perspective. Have to look at you side eye. And I think that's what's happening to Brandon Jamal. He's starting to crash now.
He's definitely starting to crash. But I got to get out of here. I just ain't chopped it up with you for a minute, so I thought I'd pop in and say hi.
All right, cool. Keep doing your thing, man. And if you do, I will subscribe to that channel, especially. I think that we do has some great potential. Trust me, because no one's really doing these actual apps. And really, cause think about it. If they're marketing these apps for people to say you want to find love and all that stuff, or get a nice little smash, someone has to do the content on it. You get me? Just these apps trending. Matter of fact, Mike TV, you're doing them a favor by doing that type of streams.
Oh yeah, facts. Super exposure.
Is apps really work? And I said, well, go to Mike TV other channel and you see to find out if you want to invest money. They should be paying you, bro. Doing them.
I should have a sponsorship from the Match Group at this rate.
Well, like you told me, as long as you're consistent, they're going to catch on. Trust me. They need every leverage possible. Trust me, bro.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I've just got, so many different things I'm involved in. There's only one of me. So, I already got the Mike TV channel, and I'm working on starting another channel that's just dedicated to, indigenous history. And then I got another channel I'm going to launch soon that's about like teaching people how to start YouTube channels, since I'm, going up on 2 years now and about to hit 20K subs. So it's just a situation where like if I could just like have an unlimited budget and unlimited time, then I do the dating show and everything else. But for the time being, something's got to give.
Yeah. Well, like I said, every year you always evaluate if it makes sense continue forward, because if you have so much on your plate, some things have to let go eventually. You get me? Because like you said, you're a one-man person. You're not gonna be able to handle all that. I mean, if you think about, I have some channels, but I can't devote too much time on a lot of them because it's too much work. You get me?
Yep. It's a lot of work. People don't understand how much effort goes into live streaming and getting the keywords and the thumbnails just right. Shoot, I'll spend 2 hours during the day just creating thumbnails and setting up the streams.
Yeah. A lot of hours spent on this. People think that anybody could just do this. I say you could try, but you're not gonna get no results. I tell people to go from 0 to potentially 1,000 subscribers is just the stepping stone. Because you gotta know, and I've taught this with any person, that fire up a live stream is too easy and it's not gonna be profitable in the long run, especially if you have a really intentional goal for this. And if you're trying to get some out of this, you're going to have to understand and study how it actually works. And you have to trial and error to see what effectively works. And when you find something works effectively, you had to keep pushing the pedal. So all right, Mike. Thank you for coming up. Hope we'll do it again.
Yep. Till next time, brother. Stay up.
All right. Peace. Thank you. Peace. That's Mike TV, everybody. Okay. So matter of fact, before I go watch this interview, I'm gonna look up this article by the guy that got fired because I think I want to breeze for that, and then I'm gonna go for the interview and anything else that y'all guys, because it is open panel. As you know, I put the link for the call link for anyone that want to join or come up. You're free to do so. So let me look around, and like I said, I will look at the chat room periodically. Where is it? All right. So is this the one? All right. I'm just scrolling through now just to try to find something. I got this guy right. Okay. All right. This is the article, and this is surprised by Black Enterprise. So I will do a short reading on this, and then we'll see how things go. I'm scrolling down now. I'm trying to find the article, guys. All right, here it is. So let's look at this article here. Search. Screen share. And this is by Black Enterprise, as you all could tell. Let me see how I am in my studio. See how I look. Okay, I look good. All right, good. All right, and just scrolling through. I'm just. Okay. All right, I see I'm doing good on likes. As y'all guys come in, please guys like the stream because I'm not gonna be multitasking back and forth. All right, here we go. Black Enterprise. I'm gonna scroll for this. This is Wealth of Life. I'm not sure who created this blog, but it might be some black people. A plumber has lost his job and appearing on YouTube dating show where he faced backlash after degrading a lineup of women. Now, I'm not sure why they're saying degrading because as a man, you can never degrade a woman because most women in America, if I want to be honest, degrade themselves. And they do it with a smile on their face. To be honest with y'all, the professional plumber named Very Handsome on Instagram took to the platform on Monday, June 17th, to reveal his unemployment due to the internet dating show he appeared in last week. According to the Instagram user, the criticism he receives due to the show appearance caused the company he worked for to receive bad reviews, prompting his termination. All this clout chasing got me fired from my work. Man, I really love plumbing and I'm good at it. As they got that, then and it was they got that damn taken away from me. According to the ex-plumber appear on YouTube dating show critics, the company called 500 times and messed up the business. So he said, and this is one of his little posts he did on IG about it. This was what I get for dealing with low value women. I'm hurt behind this for real. This is what keeps me out of the streets. I love, and he wrote in captions. Now, mind you, there were content creators, some predominantly women, especially. And I'm going to read y'all, and I should read out. You'll be surprised what people wrote and said about him losing his job. And there are lady content creators, some that have bigger channels. Were really, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised went in on the bird because a lot of women, modern women, and predominantly the black women, as you tell, this was the bigger issue. They have a propensity of dealing that hate black men in general. They have a certain high self-esteem and a certain ego, a confidence in him, where he does not deal with disrespect. And to even prove it, how much he doesn't deal with disrespect, and I mean how he proves it. He will not allow no woman, Mr. Handsome, to sit there and then just let anyone make them sly remarks and all that stuff. And he comes back with the honest truth and said that you do her, and the biggest words he's come out of his mouth says, "You do me a favor," or "You did me a favor." And in this video that I'll have to run, and I'm not sure how long the video is because I haven't really count the minutes of this video. He's going to explain why he says, "You do me a favor." But let's keep going on. In his comment section, the plumber receives message of support from many who felt the termination was unwarranted. So further criticizing his behavior on the dating show, but agrees it wasn't enough to cause him to lose his job. I hate how he acts on the show. Definitely not cool, but to call his job and get him fired in some BS, this is his livelihood. I just think you didn't mess with how someone eats. I'm just saying. One person wrote. In fact, they did this much digging to find your job is dangerous. It is downsides of standing on what you stand on in this cancel culture era. You did nothing wrong, and I pray you can't start your own business. I add someone else. The plumber is facing backlash because of his appearance on Ariette Alum's YouTube dating show, Pop the Balloon or Find Love, published on Wednesday, June the 12th. The show sees one male go through a lineup of women who opt to either pop the balloon or potentially strike a match with the prospect. And mind you, Miss Ariette, like many dating shows, and I'm gonna be honest, and I will have to agree with one of the brothers said that she might have to start reevaluating the lineup of women that she has on her show. This is something she has to continue. In my opinion, and this is just me, guys, she's gonna probably continue with the show, with the ratchet chicks, with all these ladies. And I mean ladies loosely. She's gonna continue doing this because let's be honest, it's profitable. It's very much profitable. And let's be honest. Let's be honest. If she doesn't do it, who else will? Hold on. And comments count some. And let's be fair, honest. I wouldn't be surprised the majority of people that watch that dating show, majority of them is mostly women, particularly black women. And how I know, because I've covered this about why black women are so much invested in social media. They're the biggest consumers of social media, for people that didn't know that. But I'm not gonna reveal that study again because I did the rate. But if I will, y'all guys got to leave a message for that. All right. And let me check if anybody's listening because I'm been paying attention. Okay, no one's watching. All right, good. All right, let's continue. The plumber is facing backlash because of his appearance on Ariette. I read it. All right, let's skip that. The plumber was on the defense with most of the women who popped the balloon, with one clip showing him going back and forth with one woman and her arm hair. Hold on. All right. This segment threw everyone off. Ariette's captions on Instagram clips of the plumber exchange, and this is one of them. Or I think that's this IG. The second clip went viral, showing one woman returning the shade to the plumber in exchange to quickly escalate. Many agree with the woman's assessment of the situation and blast the plumber for his attitude towards the lineup. So they say. So they say. So they say. But the problem is, you ain't doing nobody no favors. You're not doing nobody favors at all. All right. He deserves every bit of that. His attitude was insane. Them other girls were letting him get away with too much disrespect. One person. See, now people don't find that modern women, are disrespectful to men, and men's supposed to take it. No, men are not going to take disrespect. They're going to give you the same energy and probably give it back to you tenfold if you're not careful. But the reason why they feel so bold and move the way they do is because too many men have allowed too much modern Western women to run amok. And I mean run amok in all aspects, their mouth, etc. And let's be honest, when you're not been groomed with order, and usually a male gives some sense of order, you will create a haven, not an environment, haven of disrespectful chicks that are going to just be fly in the mouth and want you to say some things and you shut the hell up. Now, that might go well if you're a woman dealing with a very weak, frail, sissy man. But if you're dealing with a man that's on his square mentally, physically, and spiritually, he's not going to take that bullish to you, sweetie. He's going to look at you funny. All right, the plumber has since launched a GoFundMe t-shirts, and you're not qualified from a look of it. He plans to ride this newfound internet fame until he finds a new job, which, he should, and he should pursue another job anyway. He should anyway. But now, matter of fact, before I go and run this videotape, and I gotta see how long it is. Let me take a look how long it is first, guys, because I don't want to run nothing. I don't want to know how long this thing is. So let me do that now, just to be sure of myself. Yeah. Where is it? Okay. Okay, I found it. So let me. I'm just gonna run it on the other player.
And the only reason why.
All right, how long? Oh, this is too long. So I'm only gonna play halfway of this. And like I said, this is an open panel. Y'all can just come in anytime and stop and bring up any other subjects. I'm probably gonna go through enough of this. I'm not go for all this. This white side came out with this colonial nonsense. All right. All right, let's look at this. Oh, you know, where is he? Where is he? And now he's doing Ninja Turtle stuff. Huh? Yeah. I'm looking at the comment section. Where is the comment section of this? Is this the one? This might be the one. No, that's not the one. Yeah, I'm trying to find something. No, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. I don't know. I think he took it down. Oh, wait. This might be the one. Yeah, this one right here. This is the one. I gotta share this. I'm going to scroll down some of it because how many comments this guy got? This guy got almost, I believe it says it's 1,000. I ain't going for 1,000 comments on this post he did, so I'm going to share it now because we gotta look at it. All right, so. As you can tell from looking at this, and let me see how it looks here. Yeah. All right. As you can tell, one person wrote, "Start your own plum business, bro." This is a man speaking. Next one, guess it's time to start your own company. Yeah. And he said on another man's podcast, which I'm not gonna probably cover, and I'm not sure if I'm going to. He said that he would, but he can't right now. So he's not gonna be starting his own business. So he's gonna probably devote his time doing this the clout chasing and ride it till it wheels fall off. And maybe if anything, might do some content creating aside on his mostly TikTok or YouTube channel. Stay tuned to that. Change your username is not fitting. I'm not sure who wrote this. Why they wrote this. I just can't understand why. You cannot be speaking. Maybe you are one of those people who call in addition and load told discriminate against. I ain't gonna read all that. Let's go down. That's what I hate about this. It's like, ooh. All right. One person, right? I hate how he acted on the show. Definitely not cool, but to call his job and get him fired is some BS. This is livelihood. I just think you don't mess with someone's way you eat. True. I think that's where one guy wrote. Another one, right? You have a skill that always needed. You don't need the company. True. One lady writes, Sexy Kokomo writes, the women in these comments, you can't tell the type of person y'all is, and that's why some of y'all is probably single and will never get married. This world is a sick place. True indeed. And she had like 104 replies to that. I'm not gonna go for that. Next comment. This 100K in the bank account gonna keep my boy right until next job. Yeah. The fireman in his job is another comment by Blaze. And when he didn't curse or disrespect any of these women, he simply reject them goes to show how ridiculous this society is and how easy they are cave into the woman demand. It goes to show that feminism is a lie and how much power women already have in this society and think they should sue the hell out of the company that fires you and people who play part and cause nothing wrong, which I totally agree. And I'm looking around, make sure. As I'm looking, I'm multi, make sure no one's in the back. So, all right. Start. Let's go down. Nope. I smell your own new business coming. Oh, that's another thing. Delete this and bounce back. Plumbing jobs are everywhere. Don't satisfy the trolls. Yep, true. Words of advice. Be careful who you're rude to. These women will ruin your life nowadays in a hot phone call. Sorry, you gotta deal with all that, man. Another person sued that job. That's wrongful termination, which he possibly could. Way he spoke would swear he had his own company. Nah. I wonder what their excuse was for letting you go. Did your job have a social media policy? This sounds like a lawsuit. You know what's funny about social media? Because everybody's on social media. I mean, you could regulate it, but the problem is the whole world is global right now. And to really invest time about what people do outside of work, as long as you're making the company money, that's better and good. All this other extra stuff is nonsense. What I'm hearing about monitoring people's social media, that's just an excuse that they don't want to hire you. It's that simple. I guarantee that a lot of non-black people that work jobs got much worse social media presence than Negroes. I'm just saying. Let's go. All right. And one person writes, and I think it's a lady, Cora May Jean said, "This is why black women will forever be single 304s because I hear black women disrespect black men and reject means on the Pop the Balloon dating show, and no one ever calls that out. But all this man did was assert himself as a man. He was not disrespectful. He gave what they gave respectfully, and now it's a problem. So he was supposed to accept respect and not say nothing back? Yes, indeed. And here's the fault. I personally don't roll like that. However, we all know someone that do ish like this and blah 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 blah, blah and someone gets a job. Okay, I don't hang with them, those people, so I don't know anyone personal who does crazy ish like that. This is by Jane Babby, and response to Jay Babby. I feel you. Honestly, man, this is a huge opportunity to get into media, and we're not reading all that. Nope. You know, when I step away from this and looked at it now, it looks like right now we're seeing positive response through his social media in this post he did. When I looked at it the first time, I saw some negativity, but it looked like a lot of people found his IG and it is flowering him with pure positivity, which is a good sign. Good sign indeed, man. Yeah. All right. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing this because I think I made my point with social media. All right, guys. So no further ado, we're gonna do the videotape because you need to see some things anyway. All right, let's begin. Fair use, like always. Same thing. Oh, that's not good. I don't know why that happened. Let me think. Hold on, guys. Let me figure something. Oh, you know what I can do? I'll do this instead. You're fine. Hold on, I gotta find it, guys. I'm not sure what happened to the video. All right, let me see if this will work now. Here we go.
And the only reason why I'm putting it,
you the first ever interview I've ever done in my content creator life. So it's an honor that you even responded to us and you even wanted to have a conversation, because at the end of the day, we just some random people on the internet. You feel me? So I appreciate you. Is there anything you want to shout out? Anything before we get started?
it's just a profound pleasure being on here. Thank you to all my fans, everybody defending me in my comments, going hard for me, man. I really appreciate y'all. I love y'all. These t-shirts are coming soon.
Yes,
Stay
sir.
tuned to my Instagram at Very Handsome with 2 Y's, VERYY_handsome. Stay in tune with my story. It's a lot of cloud chasing going on. Certain topics I won't address, certain topics I will address. And today we're gonna keep it raw and uncut like I always do, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because I'm not no professional interviewer, I'm not no big dog. I had to get my questions typed out, you feel me, to make sure that I came correct. But at the end of the day, we also know that we got a lot of Arlette fans in here who are gonna be sitting there waiting for your.
All right, before I continue, let me run the brief little commercial. You know how we do it here in the Chaos Rain Show. Gotta do it. So let's go.
I want my money.
I told you.
Where is my money?
Betty, bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
You mean everyone?
All right. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and support the channel with the super chat. As super chat's enabled. I think it's like Cash App, $Chaos8Rain. But anyway, let's keep running the tape. Let's go. Let's get it.
With Arlette, and they fiending for it. So to make sure we don't step on Arlette's toes, I'm gonna try not to ask no questions that I know she gonna ask you on the catch up. That way you can because you know you and her gonna be sitting in the same room with the shorty, and you know I'd rather people get to see that exchange with you being able to call her out on her stuff, her being able to say her piece. But at the end of the day, the truth is gonna be the details that's in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
sir.
All right. At the end of the day, if you got anything you wanna address out as we do this, bro, feel free to talk your talk. Talk how you want to talk. All right.
Okay.
All right. So my first question, it's a big question that was going on.
And another side note, since I'm listening to this again, well, somewhat again, but not the whole entirely because I'm not going through all this. I find it very intriguing when people start doing interviews. It's never easy being an interviewer on any podcast. I've done it for a few years. Some that were good, some that come embarrassed, some were downright bad. But if you're a person that's not accustomed to having people on your channel and having a conversation, it's kind of odd you start with a more trending person to really bring on your platform. I'd rather start with the basic with someone that is no content creator that either has a channel or doesn't have a strong channel first before delving into having someone that's just trending to have on to do an interview for the first time. But that's my advice to those who's going to do interviews on your own channel. You should start from there. But, you know, what do I know? Fair use, fair use.
When the Pop the Balloon came out, right? It was one of the key things that you said was a deal breaker.
I look for a woman that's not promiscuous
Okay.
and has a career going for herself.
And it was that you do not want a promiscuous woman. Now, I know what promiscuous means. She know what promiscuous mean. But for some reason, there's a lot of people that when you said that, the internet, they can't take it for what it is. Everybody got all these multiple meanings for it. But the only person that they wasn't asking who it really meant, what it really meant to was you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So
Yes.
I want you to tell these people, what does promiscuous mean to Aaron? Go ahead, big dog.
To Aaron, a promiscuous woman is a woman that possesses the Jezebel spirit. You know, if you're familiar with the Bible, you know about Jezebel,
right,
and the deception that she used and the evil things that she's done.
right.
Promiscuous women nowadays, they tend to manipulate you all for selfish gain.
Right.
And in the midst of, you know, me falling in love with this promiscuous woman, she's having sexual interactions with other men, you know, throwing off my pH balance. And, you know, your pH balance being affected, that affects my mood, my work ethic at work, a multitude of things that I just don't want inside of my realm.
Right.
Okay.
And so
now he says the reason why he don't want no promiscuous woman, allegedly. And one thing I do want to say, I have found the TikTok from one particular lady that has some words to say with So Handsome, a Latina. And I'm going to say this for those that have common sense. I would not take no one that is considered X seriously on any platform talking about their ex. I don't hear much men voice their opinion of the women that they used to F with in a relationship that will come around after their significant other has now started to catch waves, trends on social media, that me as a person will look at them and take their word for face value seriously. And the reason why I won't take their word or what they said face value is because it is unfortunately clout chasing, especially if you have your own social media and your social media is not really constructed for clout chasing, gossip, and all that nonsense. And I looked at her TikTok, which, matter of fact, I'll pull it for y'all now since I'm talking about it. Let me see if I can find it. I think I have it now. Let me pull up the TikTok. Where's the TikTok? And I don't like doing this because, you know, I don't really broadcast this, but I'll make the exception. The one, this lady here, And let me pause it.
All right, now that we opened the can of worms,
Pause that. And the funny thing about this woman, where is she? Well, she's Latina. Y'all might know who I'm talking about. I'm not about to pull it. Screw it. Because I like giving no attention to this dumb bitch. And like this. I looked at her platform, and most majority of what she does is makeup, the twirls. You need to stay in your lane if you're doing one thing on your own platform. And I've taught this with other existing content creators. There has to be a sense of consistency what you're doing on any media platform. You can't pivot. So for her to come out and says, well, her experience is very good or bad, I don't take seriously. In regards, if you were a baby mama, which the guy revealed who he was dealing with, this Latina chick that he was dating, it has kids already, which is really a red flag for any man. If you're a young man that's under the age of 30 and you do got your head on right and you have some direction going, why are you entertaining baby moms? I know that's not favorite. I know most people don't want to hear that. But if you are at a certain direction in life where your money is starting to come in a little bit more and you're keeping your body in shape and you're improving your mind, the last thing you want to get yourself entangled with a baby mama of any race. And come find out, he did deal with this woman, and he does like women that have some fat and body women, like breasts and butt and all that stuff. So I understand, but the problem is you're picking low value woman because she already has kids by another man, and not just any kid. She has probably more than one baby daddy because she has 2 kids. So obviously, right there, you would, if you stayed committed to this lady, like I'm mentioning right now, you'll be the 3rd baby daddy possibly. So brothers, don't be no baby daddies if you're young and you already got your stuff to go together. Let's keep going. Fair use.
In a way, you would say that when that promiscuous spirit is in your vicinity, the household can't function, and that's why you can't allow that in your space. Basically, is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Because if we look at history,
right,
there's been women that have conquered kingdoms with their manipulation tactics and with being promiscuous as well. So I don't like that at all. And if a woman manifests any interest in another man, and I'm, showing her that I'm interested in her wholeheartedly, then I don't want anything to do with you.
Right. And so how do you feel about it when we live in a day and age now when you call people out for promiscuity, right? Because a promiscuous person can be a man and it can be a woman, right? Men have the same dog tactics that women do. And a lot of things that we call out on our channel is no matter whether you want to be on team men or team women, we all got some bad habits that are negatively affecting the dating game on both ends. So what do you feel like to a woman who hears what you got to say about this and they try to throw it off on like, well, we can't be promiscuous over here, but what about what men do, rah over what men say, how they operate? The tit for tat. How do you feel when a woman tries to bring that up? Like, what is your exchange with that?
I would like my exchange with that would be, me personally, I'm no saint whatsoever.
Right.
I have been a promiscuous man myself, and it wasn't until I was able to see the damage that was done to the other individual. I didn't know anything about empathy whatsoever until this particular situation transpired.
Right.
Once I stepped out of the relationship, this woman suffered some life-changing things, mentally, I would say. She lost her confidence and her self-esteem because of that. And now she indulges in relationships with low-value men. And honestly, I started carrying, even though it's not my fault, with her proceeding on with her life, her indulging with them, that's not my fault. But I feel like I played a factor in that.
Right.
Stepping out on her. So, and also, what I've come to realize is not all women, but the promiscuous women they are like cats. You know, you
Okay.
could count on one hand how many times have you seen a cat having sex.
Right.
But men, we're like dogs. You know, you'll never see a cat. You can leave a cat in the middle of a desert and it'll come back pregnant.
Right.
And we're like dogs. You know, we'll do it right in front of you. Me personally, I would just like to find one person, do it how I like, and I won't seek others. You don't
Right.
seek others.
Right.
We can leave it at that.
Okay. Now we're gonna move from that a little bit because I did like what you said about empathy, and I could talk with you about empathy for hours because I feel like one thing that I had to learn as I got married was the importance of empathy. And so now on this day and age, for some reason, when we bring empathy up as a talking point when it comes to relationships, if you as a man start preaching empathy, you're suddenly a simp, you're soft, you feminine. But if you try to bring empathy up to women, then all of a sudden it's like there's a disconnect there on both ends. But people don't seem to realize that the reason why relationships work is because you have to be able to put yourself in the place of your partner.
And most people not gonna do that, especially with modernization and modern women. And to go back in regards to the cat and dog analogy, yeah, I hear this notion that men are dogs and all that stuff, but women, to be honest with you, are actually cats, which makes a lot of sense because they'll go out nowhere and come back to you with a belly, with an actual belly, ready to, hatch out a child. That's a very much an intriguing analogy. I might use that more often. Say you're a cat, you be straying, going around there, and just getting pounced on, and coming around thus far as carrying some other person's child. That's very good. I like that. But modern women today, if we want to be honest, they don't have to have no empathy because you're here to serve them. Your role is to serve them, give them everything, and you don't get nothing. And I mean nothing in return. And that's how they want it. And trust me, I'm telling the truth because when you ask what they will provide or do or what they will bring to something of any tangible substance, they can't give you an answer because they do not provide or will not give you nothing. Maybe they'll give you a nice little whop, but anything else, they're not going to waste time to do that. Let's keep going. Fairies.
And your partner has to put themselves in the place of you, and you guys come to that understanding together. And I just don't understand why, as men and women, that disconnect is just so vast, if that makes any sense. If you got anything to say on that, go ahead.
I think that disconnect is that way because part of the reason is the way the economy is as well.
Okay.
Everything is so expensive. Everything is increasing except minimum wage.
Right.
And due to that reason, you have at an all-time high, women doing OnlyFans, women want to strip, women wanting to do all these activities that a man of my stature would not approve of.
Right.
And I think providing more opportunities for women and men overall would change that as well. People don't communicate anymore. Everybody is like, to me, out for their own selfish gain.
Right.
Just like on the show, like I said on my story, it seemed like those women were there for a helpmate and not a soulmate. We came for different purposes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I don't, like I said before, I don't treat women, I court them. It's a big difference. You treat an animal. When an animal does something nice, you give them a little treat. Here's a little doggy bone. You court a woman. You treat that woman like a goddess. But I can't give you 110% of me, and you are giving me 75% of you in return. And you giving Jonathan 10%. You got Jimmy, he another 10%. Your attention is divided. So when I'm pouring into you, like I stated before, I'm pouring into you the seeds that I'm planting, they'll never grow because you're distracted.
and this is, it's crazy. That was some heat. Hold on, that was some heat. And this, it's crazy. This is why I wanted to do the interview with you, because I was sitting there after you reached out to us on Instagram and you said you watched the reaction. We get a lot of people that they see our reactions and then they show some love, they do all this. But as soon as we uploaded your video of the Pop the Balloon Arlett's video, we got so many people in the comments going, yeah, the last guy was he's on Instagram going crazy. He's on Instagram doing this. Oh, he said this. Oh, this is going on. And one thing about, you can ask my wife even this, one thing about me is, when it comes down to this internet stuff, I try to stay unbiased. I try not to pick a side until I actually know stuff, because I've seen the effects of what happens when you jump to conclusions and you pick a side too fast, right?
Yes.
This is why I said I'm interviewing you today. If the Esther chick ever said, "Oh, I want to be on there and I want to talk my talk," I hope it's respectable. But I'm gonna be unbiased. I'm gonna say, "Hey, go ahead, talk your talk." But at the end of the day, one thing we gotta all understand, and the Bible, it says, "What's done in the dark is gonna come to the light."
Yeah.
Meaning that all truths and all lies are gonna be exposed at the end of the day. So that's why having you reach out to me, I'm like, you know what? I see him on this. I see him talking his talk online, but I see all these people. They take the 3-minute video clip or the 3-minute Instagram clip, and they sitting there. I saw one lady like, "Oh yeah, you must beat men." I'm like, what?
Now, we're gonna pause right there, and I had to let that run because I'm not gonna pause every second. Number one, most women today, not some, a good most of them, don't give a crap if you got a job, or much less you are what they consider an abuser. I don't want to hear that nonsense. Because hell, most of them they deal with, most dudes that have had the potential of just put their hands on them for no reason, they like and endure. And we have to always really rationally think, what makes a man compel himself to sit there and take whatever is in their hand or their physical presence just hit you on the side of your head just for no reason? Because there has to be reasons for a lot of actions people take nowadays. And I still will not get a clear-cut answer of a male out of his presence has to resort to physical violence to keep you in line. Like literally, you don't need to be in that relationship. And especially if you're a violent woman, you definitely don't need to be in a relationship, because the only thing that's gonna happen to you, you're gonna get yourself messed up or even worse. And I know most people don't promote violence, and I get it, but usually if you kept to yourself, violence does not come knocking on your door like that. That's not how it works. But in this society, women are, posed to sit there and feel comfortable just, going up somebody's head and want no pushback. You could think that's cool, but with these group of men now that won't even take your ish, are not gonna be so privileged to really abide by these rules. Keep that in mind, ladies. Let's keep going. Fair use.
I was looking at your comments. I'm like, at what point did he even sound aggressive towards women in anything that he said? But all of a sudden, you a woman beater, and they sitting there going crazy. So I'm like, you know what? I got a small platform. It's not a great platform, but God has blessed me with the platform. And I always tell people that I want to let God move on my platform. And if letting people talk their truth and really tell it is a way to use the platform, then we might as well do it. So how are you feeling now that you're blowing up right now? You're on World Star, you're on all this stuff.
Yeah, you trending everywhere.
And I understand you're already like a fitness guy and all that. So a lot of this viral pressure does hit you, but how do you feel when you got people just making all these random stories and claims about you, and they don't even know you?
So at first it was frustrating, because I know the type of man that I am. the individuals around me know what type of man that I am. And, you know, people start to delve deep into what transpired in the past, you know, and I can't escape my past, but I can recreate my future. You know, I don't, they want to judge on, you know, things at the negative, anything they can find negative, but anything positive that I've done, they don't want to talk about, you know? So, I think, well, you know, Jesus was perfect, right?
So they
They still talk bad about Jesus. So they're always going to have something to say about me. Just keep talking. You know,
like
keep blowing me up, keep making me bigger. And, you know, God willingly, the right person sees me and something, you know, a career takes off. I don't have to plumb anymore. Something comes out of this. But I don't care what people got to say. You can think the worst of me. The women out there that are afraid to take a chance with me, you're depriving yourself of an opportunity with a great man. These women that you see trying to clout chase off of me, and you know, they make money off social media. They don't have very good paying jobs. And they're gonna do whatever they can. They're gonna say whatever they can to paint this false narrative about me. Keep painting it. Put it on the biggest canvas you could find in America. You know, and I'm gonna keep smiling. I'm gonna keep my head held high at all times. You see me out in public, I'm a friendly giant. You know, don't be afraid to approach me. If I have a resting mean face on in the gym or something, don't be afraid. You could say hello. You know, I don't put my hands on women, but I will get aggressive with a man, you know, for the right reason, you know, defending myself or defending a woman. You know, I'm trying to promote a just cause, you know. I don't want to promote any bigotry, any negativity. Let's spread more black love and not hatred, you know. Let's come together, you know. We the only ones that don't really have any unity, man. Let's come together, you know. Let's bring my people together. Let me God, please bless me, you know, with a platform where I can create opportunities for my people, you know.
Make sure you guys hit the like button. Another note, he has a very much a rough past. And I could tell because if you look how the ladies take a certain issue with him because he's so confident, and he is how we looked at in the community, referred to these men as Pookies and Ray Rays. He is that archetype that most women would have no problem getting on their knees and blowing the hell out this dude, and which they do because he has that energy, that persona. It's not because he has muscles that helps, but it is a certain, I don't like to use this word, but I'm using swag to him, a presence that makes women just ushers, oozes, and they really hate that because they find a man like this that they are actually attracted to, but he sits there and let them know up front, you do not qualify. And here's the twist about all this. Here's the real twist. Kevin had the same issue when he tells a lot of ladies that they want a high-figure man, and he looks at them dead in their eye in their presence and says that you don't qualify, and it burns a lot of modern women. Not saying Miss Handsome is like a Kevin Samuels archetype, but he's damn near close in regards to how he looks, how he carries himself. And trust me, you see him with a suit sometimes too. Besides all the tattoos, that's because, you know, he was out here in the streets. But besides that, he has the physical presence that is enough to get any woman, you know, very much weak in the knees. And, you know, like I said, he's not going to promote violence. He does promote love. Is he the person that gives off that he'll whip a chick's ass? Possibly, if you test him. But let's be honest, most modern women today are very violent as well. So they're going to try that and want a man of his stature to put some hands on him. You know, take his one hand, wrap her throat, and, you know, give her the, you know, send her to Poundplex City and make her bust enough nuts. and she be oozing. 'Cause, you know, ladies love that rough stuff. Anyhow, let's keep going. Fairies.
No, I felt that, and I felt what you said about the Jesus part, because even the Bible says, Jesus said, they hated me before they hated you.
Right.
Meaning that you're gonna walk down paths where there's gonna be adversity. There's gonna be people that disagree, that dislike what you gotta do, and that's regardless of how well you make your character show. Because I even saw you on your Instagram, all the stuff that you was doing for the youth programs in your area and all that, but then you got a random woman that you've never even met before saying like, you look like you a woman beater. And I just told all my friends, showed them a picture of you, and we all agree you beat women. It's like, dang, bro, like y'all tearing down a man who is helping the youth.
But they have to tear it down, because the more you shame, it's gonna make other people feel intimidated and don't want to mess with him. Hell, they don't even want to work with him. How we know? You go up there and you call his place employment. And one thing I did not add about the job thing, because most people work for somebody else, right? Isn't it ironic the only place of business that they don't have an AI operating answer machine to go through a parameters, so that way it is a person that is about business instead of someone that's calling in, getting access to the person at the desk and voicing their opinions, which is really, I don't know if I want to use the word unsolicited. But come on. You cannot sit there, call work employment, complaining, and you're not spending no money to the business. And how I know, because most of them so stupid that they think that people that call in multiple times, that if you get rid of them, they're going to come spend money in your business. No, wrong. They're there just to call to supply pressure, so that it psychs you to sit there, make a irrational decision to let go of someone, in my opinion. And I find it to be wrong, very wrong. But most business nowadays are not that smart, especially they're not really up to the times in regards to small things like having special answer machines on your telephone line, so that way you don't have to worry about this type of behavior. There's no way hell people should be calling in any workplace that many times and able to get access to the person on the desk. That's unexcusable. Very unexcusable. But let's keep going. Fair use.
If we don't have the youth, then it's gonna be broken people growing up to be even more broken, then creating more broken people. And we just gonna keep in that cycle, and it's never gonna fix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and I also sorry,
no, go ahead.
I speak to at-risk youth, and also there was a duration of time in my life where I would indulge in criminality, and I'm not ashamed of that. Those experiences molded me into the man that I am today.
Right.
And because of that, I'm able to reach out to, other individuals that indulge in that certain lifestyle as well. A pastor may not be able to get to them the same way that I may be able to. This is all a part of my tribulation. And I also, I provide free plumbing services to single women, single mothers, to single fathers, to Army veterans, people that have issues with property management. I provide free plumbing services to them. You can find me, Aaron Sloan, on the Nextdoor app. And I also donate, to children that, need hearing aids. I've been seeking more nonprofit organizations for children that need hearing aids as well, because I was shot in my face and a bullet was lodged inside of my ear. It broke my mandible. For those that say, my jaws were chattering or anything, my mandible is permanently fractured on this side. And I lost my hearing for 5 years.
Dang.
And during that course of time, it made me appreciate the smallest things in life, like having your senses, having your taste, your smell. I didn't appreciate small things in life like that until that was taken away from me.
Right.
So it wasn't until I was able to have surgery and get that hearing back, which was a profound blessing, of course. But since there's a lot of kids out there that don't have that opportunity, that won't be able to hear again. And
Right.
you know, I really love music, and during that 5-year time not being able to hear music, it was just depressing. So I can just imagine, you know, how depressed these children may be, or what type of turmoil that they're going through, you know, mentally and spiritually, due to them not having hearing aids. So I try to, you know, acquire funds. I try to set money aside from each paycheck to donate to a just cause like that. And God has been continuing to bless me abundantly. Like there's been times, you know, money just falling out of the sky in large amounts. And I know it's because I got a good heart and I try to put out, you know, positivity into the universe, and positive stuff comes back to me.
Wow. Man. All right. We're going to move on to the next part, right? Back to the pop balloon.
Before you go to Pop Balloon, I see what you said in the com section, which I read. What's this? Yeah, I see. Even though this standard operation procedure for Black women, I still wonder how they have the nerve to cry about not having a fulfilling life when they self-sabotage recklessly with BS canceling. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Why they asking for some and they sabotage their brothers or their own Black man? And simple, for control. See, if you don't make them feel good or do it their way, they will go beyond earth, heaven, hell, or even Hades to destroy you. And it's shown proof that they have to see destroying this brother briefly because he's not finding proper employment besides, you know, maybe becoming a consecrated, which is all right, but there's no money in consecrating for those who want to be honest. I mean, I do this because I make some money, and which I do support the people that actually support the channel. I appreciate it, but really, you'll make something. You're not gonna make a whole lot of money. You're not gonna live off this. So that people that's gonna do this, I'm letting y'all know ahead of time now. You do this content creating stuff, right there, good, bad, whatever, or doing what I'm doing or doing something better, you're not gonna make a lot of money out here. But if you're passionate of doing this, then by all means, do the content. All right, and he right. I honestly, on my core, tired of modern women, especially Black women, hot garbage. Yeah, I get you. All right, let's keep going.
There came to a point in the show where you said a legendary catchphrase. A legendary catchphrase. It's one of your many. You have two, and I know you know which two. But for some reason, this was the one that everybody caught on to, and on the show, everybody reacted to crazy. And it was the "you did me a favor."
For me, it just did not work. I didn't feel like I had chemistry or wasn't fully attracted to you. And I feel like that counts if we are going to be going through a dating show, you know?
Yes, the feeling is definitely mutual. So that's okay.
Arlette?
Thank you. You did me a favor.
You know?
You did me a favor. Now, when we watched it, and I know you seen our reaction, it was funny to us because that's the first time I've ever heard somebody like, "Oh, I'm glad you popped on me. You did me a favor." It's like, dang, like, all right, like, and I know you didn't. You said it. You even said it yourself that you're just speaking. You're speaking blunt. You're not speaking to hurt.
Right.
But you know the atmosphere as you're on that episode. When you hit that, you did me a favor, because we know they edit it and they cut a lot of stuff. What do you feel like the atmosphere was when you hit that? Like, what did you feel in that moment?
What I felt, I honestly didn't feel anything because I was just being myself. You know, I didn't feel like I said anything wrong. I didn't call any of those women the B word. I didn't, you know, do anything to that effect. All I did was just let her know, hey, you did me a favor. Because if you're not interested in me, you're doing me a favor, you know? Because I could have wasted a month of my time taking you out, going to the movies, wasting my unlimited texting, wasting my unlimited data, FaceTiming you, you know, doing all of these.
No, but he's right about that. Saving you money and time.
Things. All right, let's get right to the point. You know, do you like me? I like what I see. And I'm the type of man, you know, if I have to reassure you, because these women have a problem with giving men reassurance.
Right.
They swear, you know, reassuring a man makes you insecure. I don't have no problem reassuring you, baby. Go through my phone. You know, what do you want? Whatever it takes to give you that reassurance. So I'm not at work wondering, you know, is my woman doing this? Or, you know, I want that security, and I want to give you that security as well.
Right. Okay. So do you, when the women heard that, right, and they reacted the way they reacted, when you talked about empathy, do you see from their perspective of how that came off though? Do you see what they were getting at when they said it? And you can be truthful, bro. It's
Well, I see it now. If I was them, honestly, I would just. But see, I can't blame them. I can't blame them because I know for a fact, you know, after God made me, He broke the mold. You know, He doesn't make them like this anymore. So dealing with a man like me and that has morals, principles, values. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but we're not in abundance, you know.
Yeah.
Most of them are married, and the ones that are single are not interested in having a relationship. And the men, such as myself, that want a relationship, that stand on business and not going to take no foolishness, they don't want to abide by, you know, my expectations and that I would have for our relationships, because they can't do as they please. They can't run those manipulation tactics on me. They can't deceive me. You know, they can't tell me something and make me believe it, you know, like they could do the next guy.
Yeah.
So
But that's the point. And I agree with him that once you're in a certain place mentally, gentlemen, not spirit. Well, spiritually is one thing, but all 2 or 3 aspects, right? It is very hard for women to really get what they want from you. Matter of fact, speaking for myself, it's very hard for a woman to get something out of me unless I really want something out of her personally. And even that, there's no guarantee I will give her what she wants on the average. And this is my philosophy. The less you give them what they want, I think the better. Because most women nowadays, when you start spoiling and giving them everything, they will want more because they're like children. Once they had a taste of something and they like it, they want more and more of it and will keep devouring until their stomach hurts. Yeah, till their stomach hurts. So, and I see people in the chat room. What's good, guys? Hey, yo. And one guy said, no, not that question is irrelevant. Why can't women see what they're saying and what they're saying affects people? Why is that not the main question? Yeah, I understand the interview process. We need to keep the hammer down and get this curse correct and be here with mine. Yeah, we need to get some control. All right, let's keep going. Fairies.
that's where the problem comes in at.
Okay, cool. All right. There was a point where there was a lady in a white dress. She had heard how you spoke to the first 2 when you said you did me a favor. Lady in white dress. During the episode, me and my wife, we was kind of like, we wasn't really rocking with her too heavy, even though she was educated. One thing we kept pointing out was we don't like when people waste people's time. That's one thing that we can't stand, because we don't get the time back. And so one thing that she had a trend of on the show was she always held her balloon until she was the last selected person, and then she would pop and say, I don't feel your energy. And it's like, dang, you didn't feel his energy this whole time and now you just not pop. But there's a point where you 2 had an interaction and she said, you come off as very arrogant.
And why did we end up popping our balloon? The comment you made, didn't really. I like a more humble person, not someone that responds so defensive-ish. Yeah, that's really it. I didn't really necessarily like
that's
how you
fine.
responded.
Hey, I could just all I can do is be honest.
I mean,
you know,
yeah, be honest.
I
Be your
came over
authentic
here
self.
to,
That's okay.
to find a match
Sure.
that wasn't matching. That's
Sure,
all, Queen.
You could be a tad bit disrespectful, like how you, like, I don't know, arrogant a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, just that.
Well, voicing my opinion is not arrogant. You know, she asked me if she would be a good fit for me. If I like what I see, is contrary to the truth.
Arrogant.
I want my money.
I told you.
Where is my money?
Benny. Bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you share the content, leave a comment, and if you're not subscribed to the Chaos Rain Show, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the Chaos Rain Show. Also, I did put the link to the call line. If you don't see in the chat room, let me know. I'll post it because it's an open stream. This is summertime 2024. You know how we do it. So anything or any subject, any conversation, you could come up on the panel if you want. This video I'm just running is just another overlook of the interview by I think he's called Handsome. Give him more perspective. Oh, I forgot to let you know, Super Chat is enabled. So please, if you want to support the channel by Super Chat, I appreciate it. Or Cash App, wherever. And a guy wrote, dang, the tone listens to the truth. Yeah. It's like this. The more confidence you are as a man and you're not giving a certain energy back, because let's be fair, honest. And I did not know this, but I've been paying attention to detail. Modern women, right, a black, white, but let's say black women especially, they do make a sport to reject you because they have self-esteem issues. And it's a childlike mentality for you as a woman, especially over the age of 18 or over the age of 25. If you're still out here in these streets, like in the streets, and you're prancing around in environments where men either are hitting on you or whatever, and you are not only rejecting them, but nuclear rejecting them, it tells you the type of character you are as a woman. And question to ask, is this a woman you want to take seriously once you know she's done this type of behavior, brothers or ladies? That's a question you ask for yourself. So let's keep running this tape. I want to take it. I'm not sure about y'all guys in the chat room. And please, if y'all want questions be pop up, do Super Chat. Let's keep going. Fairies.
Yes.
You spoke a bit. I don't think you had enough time to really break down what you were saying, because I think you went along the lines of, it's not arrogance, it's just me talking my truth and me saying what it is. Mm-hmm. So when you hear this arrogant claim, how does it, what is the real breakdown that you were trying to give on the show that you kind of didn't get the time to really break down?
I am the embodiment of confidence. Being confident is not being arrogant. You can't mistake the two. Mm-hmm. I am well aware that everything on earth was created to be subservient to man.
Right.
From the nature, women was made from the essence of man, from his rib. Yeah. A woman is not gonna ever conquer me. We're hunters. Women, they are trying to manifest this masculine energy, and that's not the role that they were created to do. If they want to fulfill their divine purpose, but they have this mentality where I don't need a man, then you're not going to fulfill your purpose. Yeah. I know, and it's an unfortunate thing that every woman can't reproduce, but God intended for woman to reproduce and for man to do what? Be fruitful and to multiply.
Right.
That's exactly why, man can impregnate a woman. That woman, she's pregnant for 9 months and she can't get pregnant again. Man, he can go impregnate another woman and another woman and another woman, because that's a part of his divine purpose. That's what he was, designed to do, was be fruitful and multiply.
Right. Okay. I like that. That was a good explanation, because
and you think about most women today, Western women today, want to change the rules of what we like to call to be submissive and to serve, in lack of better words, because, like I said before, role reversals is the name of the game. You must serve me, and I don't serve you. You don't You provide some, I provide you nothing. It's no exchange. Hold on. And I think most dudes are not gonna be down with that, personally. Now, there are some men that will play the servant role and be good servants to a few ladies. But will they be servants to all women in general for a long period of time? No. And I don't expect them to. Because the older, the mature the man is, the more he's going to self-rationalize his place and where he is at in life. And where and what things he must do. For those that did not know. Playing the servant role in the long run for a lot of modern women is don't fare well in their purpose. And let me look for the chat room right now. Hold on. That's why I don't engage in idle conversation anymore unless it has purpose, because they go nuclear. I'm going to go thermal. Yeah, I mean, yeah, be careful, bro. If you're gonna go nuclear on a chick that want to take you there, and trust me, they will take you there. They will go there with you. They will go there with you. But let's keep listening. Fair is.
You know, it's unfortunate. It seems to me like a lot of your reasoning and stuff came from more of like a Bible belt, more religious mindset. And one thing I noticed about the internet and the way the world is going right now, if you put God in any type of conversation, it's offensive. It's offensive. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to talk about it. You too preachy, and we get into this era of people don't want the moral system that religion has given us. They want to be spiritual. They want to be, they don't want the attachments. They want just, I have a relationship with God. And then when people ask you what established that relationship with God, I found him myself. Okay, but what helped somebody find him too? What helped you find him? And they just don't ever have any type of explanation for that. How do you feel about that?
I feel like
we're all, before he goes and feel about that, this what kills me about the spiritual aspects when you hear stupid people talk about their spiritual and all this nonsense. The thing that comes to mind when they say I'm more spiritual, I don't follow religion, which that is your choice. And let me make myself bigger. But you're not going to be disordered. This is chaos. And someone has to restore the order in which the world we live in today. There are too many people with certain mindsets operate in a chaotic fashion and don't want nobody to bring them no order. They want order under their terms. You bring them real order, they will reject you. So if you hear they talk about the Bible thumping or any of that nature, let's go there. Religious aspect. Religion today, as I look at, as is used as a weapon for control. Yes, but here's another deep aspects. Some people, the way they conduct their lives, you need some order and control. That's why when man steps in, and he does bring in the order. Today, out in the West, where we live in, America especially, there is more disorder, dysfunction, all the above. We have people busting wide open on TV like it's nothing. You have ladies on media making music, running amok, just like the dudes. But now the ladies coming. And we have other debaucheries, even with what they call confusions of people's sexuality. All this is an environment for a haven for chaos. And no one in their right state of mind is willing to bring himself back to order. So I'm going to let him answer this question. And that's a very good question about the God aspect. Because any person that cringe about God, you can tell right at the bat, they don't want no order. It's that simple. Fair use.
Spiritual beings, that inhabited a physical body.
Right.
So you can't just say, oh, I'm physical.
Oh, I'm going to put this right here because let me see. Because I do like this comment. This is why I appreciate channels like yours and others who teach men and remind men that they are the leaders and have solid behavior when it comes to dealing with the chaos of modern women. Keep it up. Oh, thank you. All right, fair use.
Cool.
And that's only one comment I allow. Usually, if it's not a super chat, most likely I don't pull it up now, but I will make an exception to certain comments. And another disclaimer: be aware of not using all caps. If you have all caps in any sentence, the bot will remove it. So if you want your expression thought, it better be better. It's better off with a super chat, most likely. But other than that, write and type in normal sentences if you can. That's just a side note. Fair use.
But you're not tapped in with the source. You know, our higher power, our creator.
Right.
You're just spiritual. You know, you're just saying what you're being yourself. That doesn't make any sense to me. And it sounds like, you know, kind of being an atheist, because, you know, if you don't believe in God, that is something, you know, I don't want to be around somebody else who doesn't believe.
Right.
You know, and no offense to people that don't believe, you know, you just got to surround yourself with like-minded individuals. Mm-hmm. And if we don't think the same, then we don't need to be around one another.
Yeah. Right. It's I think the way that explanation gave is the safest explanation we can give, because at the end of the day, we live in an era where everything can be too offensive, even if it's something that me telling you like, oh, I don't like the way your shirt looked today. I liked it the way you wore yesterday. Well, now you offended this person because they really like that color. And so when it comes down to religion and spirituality, people want to live in their own ways. They don't want to hear people tell them like, hey, morally, you shouldn't be doing this. This is wrong. But they just tear it away and they don't want to hear that. So I feel like that's the answer that, unfortunately, a lot of us who believe in a higher power, who believe in a God, that's the answer that we're kind of forced to give nowadays.
Because a lot of people just want to live in the mindset of free will equaling I can do whatever I want. But free will there's a limit and an extent to free will, because yes, God gives us free will, but there's going to be consequences and repercussions with you living the free will that he gave us. The free will is to choose him every day. When you choose not to choose him, this is the free will that you're going to get. Chaos, discord, lust, greed, envy, jealousy, manipulation.
Wait. Did the lady just say chaos? Sweetie, that's too late. We are in a state of chaos. And the public loves it. Women love it. Certain men that's already in chaos love it. You better not bring no order. Absolutely not. You better not. Fair use.
And all types of stuff.
Right.
And those were all spirits, you know, God never intended for us to encounter.
Exactly.
Right. Breaking it down. Next part. Back to the show. I know you had an interesting little moment with a certain lady in a red dress.
Okay, yes.
Brianna, right?
Yes.
For me, this was one of the funniest moments in that entire video. I swear, when you were on the video, my energy for that video multiplied times 50, because the entire time in the video, I'm like, let's do it, because it was the rebuttals you had were so clean, but they also weren't like raunchy and offensive. You feel me? So there's a part in there where she says, oh, my eyes are up here. You must be staring at my chest or my tattoo. And you hit her with, nah, I was actually looking at your arms. They're hairy.
My eyes are up here, baby. Are you looking at the tattoo?
No, I'm looking at the hair on your arms. You know, women I deal with, they don't have hair on their arms.
Don't do too much.
Hey, I'm just being honest,
Don't
Queen.
do too much.
You know.
And you know, sad. And really, it's disappointing that I get why women want to reject men, because it makes their self-esteem feel better. But why the hell are you going on to one of these dating shows and you did not groom yourself properly as a woman? I find that very suspect. That, you know, most men, not all, but a good portion of men, at least you got to have at least less hair if you're a woman. And here's nothing to those that don't know. There's a certain lady out there on the internet. Not sure how old she is, right? She has hair. And I kid y'all not, she has hair. This chick got chest hair. Like, look, chest hair. And I'm thinking, why would you feel so comfortable as a woman? And I know she's an adult, want to have chest hair and want any man to accept that. I mean, really, what's the purpose of that? But it lets me know, like, look, it lets me know that we are heading down down the path of debauchery in an all-time level, all-time high. And trust me, the debauchery is something that most people today are not ready to deal with. And what I mean not deal with is when women stop taking care of themselves to the point where now they allow body hair to appear on their skin and want regular men to accept it. It is upwardly disgusting. Outright upwardly disgusting. Anyway, let's keep going. Furious.
I don't like that. That's all I was looking at. You trying to say if I'm looking at particular body parts,
You just wasn't
but
looking at
that's
my
not
eyes.
what it is. No,
That's
I was
all
looking at the
pointing
hair on
out.
your
Anyways,
arms, Queen.
she asked me the question.
Yes.
Now, when you said that, I want to know what was going through the motions. Like, what was the motions of that? Because you had her triggered for the rest of that video. She was against you the whole rest of that video. So what was going on?
So one thing about me is I am very observant.
Yeah.
You know, women, you can call me zesty or whatever you want to say, but I take my health is my wealth, and I take very seriously. You know, I get manicures, I get pedicures, I keep myself together. You know, and I had the same expectations for my woman. So when I approached her, I wanted to, you know, inhale, exhale. Let me breathe this in. Let me blow this out. Full body scan and see, you know, what she got going on. And just the first thing that I seen was, you know, the arm hairs. And I don't like that. So I was just like, you know, this isn't going to work. You know, I don't mind shaving them off too. I wasn't planning on getting at her like that, but I felt like she tried to play me. Like, she's like, look up here. And she tried to.
Yeah.
She tried to get a moment. Yeah, she tried to get a moment.
So we can, so on the camera, even with you watching it full screen, because there's a difference between when you up close to people and when you on the camera.
Yeah.
On the camera, I was trying to look at her arms and I'm seeing the shades. I'm like, dang, for him to point it out, was it that hairy? Like, was she really that packed up with the hair? Because on camera, we could just see a little bit, but
when they zoomed in,
when they
was wrong for zooming in on
her like that.
I'm gonna just say, because you know they gonna try to crucify me. I'm gonna just say, for me, it was a little excessive. You know, for the next man, he might be willing to tolerate it, but I wasn't willing to.
Okay. Well, since we going through the list of your ops, we got your next op. This is the op that your opponent that is the main reason why you are going crazy viral right now. And it's so disappointing because it's so cry to your mama. This is, when I watched this, I was sad, but I was happy. I was happy on your end, but I was disappointed on her end, because if anybody has watched the Pop the Balloons, this girl was also she was also a person that on the show, she had an encounter with a man named Dr. Elam.
My money.
I told you.
Where is my money?
Betty. Bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
As like always, guys, support the channel. You know the deal. Super chat or the cash app, which I think the cash is running on the bottom of the screen. $ Chaos 8 Rain. Please support the channel. I would surely appreciate it. And you know, I forgot this other banner. You know, always the goal mostly for most of these streams is we could try push $50 roughly. Now, normally I would allot the chat room a certain way, but because open panel, I'm not going to do it today. But normally how we go, we try to reach a certain goal in regards to the Chaos Rain show. I'll surely love, depending what you throw into the channel, will go a long way, and I'll surely appreciate it. So any support will go well and go further the progression of the Chaos Rain show. Keep that in mind. All right. No one's saying nothing. Okay, I'm looking. Just take a look at some things. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Fair use, fair use.
Shout out Elam, man. Hey, Elam, hit me up, bro. It's all love, bro. I want people to know I do not hate Dr. Elam, bro. Me and Alex be watching his stuff. He's funny. Y'all need to understand we don't hate that man. But it was disappointing because we vouched for her so hard because the first time she came on the show, she was humble. And when she got to you and a couple other gentlemen and we started seeing, I said, it's a power shift. When you're that lone wolf standing and you're in front of all those people and you're the target, you're gonna act humble and meek. Yeah. But as soon as she was on the opposite side and she had the reinforcements, the women on her left, women on her right, versus the lone man, some character came out. And when she approached you, it threw me off because I'm like, bro, I was sliding for you.
Yeah, but I kind of knew Kayla was gonna turn up in this episode.
And she came for you. Yeah. And it was, and here's the part that, okay, before I ask this question, here's the part that confused me because she said in the video, you tried to come for me. And so now I got to get at you. But if you actually watch the video, there's no lead up or interaction that is on the camera.
Well, let me say this, Queen. I'm a licensed plumber.
I do real estate and property management.
I live downtown.
So what you doing?
I live
Nothing compared to
downtown.
me.
I stay by myself, Queen. You know, and you're not even qualified to be even dealing with me.
You say everybody not qualified.
You definitely not. You know, if anything, it was one of these two. I wasn't even looking your way. You
and
ain't
the
even
one
my
that
type.
you wanted popped
If I
up
seen, that's fine.
So
That's totally fine.
Okay.
But one thing about me, I could pull 100,000 on the bank. Can you do the same? Yeah.
You know, it's funny when he said he had money like that. That thing that comes to my mind, right? Really, is that a lot of lovely ladies or modern Western women, they took that as offense, saying, "Oh, so that where you work is your source of income." So you say, I wonder how you feel and how far you progress if I take away your income by calling your job and getting you fired. And trust me, they took pleasure of saying, we're going to take away your livelihood and have no gripes about. We will do it with a smile in our face, which they have done. Keep in mind. So, you know, like I said, you know, I think most men should keep it down on what they really make now, because I think most modern women don't really deserve it. I think I will keep that more to myself, and I think most men are going to do the same as well. Fair use, and please support the channel.
Between you and her, it just like she starts off like that, and so it's confusing. Did something happen and then you get cut before y'all that clip showed, or what happened?
So nothing crazy happened. I didn't get to calling her out of her name or anything. We were just exchanging back and forth, and I had said, you know, what kind of vehicle I had. So, you know, shout out to the whoever was editing the video, you know, for editing that out for me, because she was like, you know, what kind of deal? I was like, this what I, you know, so they edited that out. But other than that, that was it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
respect.
and I respect you. Yeah, I respect you for even admitting that there was something that led to that. Because when I saw that part, I was kind of confused. I'm like, what? He didn't even say nothing to you.
Yeah.
So it's like
we just try to continue on with her. You know, oh, you're broke, rent. You know, you live with somebody. They're trying to say, you know, I didn't have any money or whatever.
Oh, we know.
We know you got money.
Put out a little 20,000, 30,000 on Instagram. just to show y'all, you know, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
And if you think you're gonna try to rob me, man, it's not gonna end well. So please don't.
So in the Kayla situation, so now that we know that this led up, right? When you hit her with your finishing move, right? Because we call you Weapon X, we call you Deus Machina, right? The machine, right? You had a fatality in there. You said, I could pull $100K out the bank right now. Can you do the same?
That struck me.
That
struck me. I was like,
did you feel like a Super Saiyan at that point? Did you feel your veins pumping super?
No, I definitely didn't, because you know I'm a man, and like I said, men we conquer women. I'm gonna, and people think, you know, it's zesty going back and forth, but I'm a man. You are a woman. Stay in your nature and be subservient. I'm not saying bow down to me, but you know, stop trying to talk over to me. You know, you don't talk over a man. You know, you say you come from the South and you were raised with morals and principles, but you don't. A woman from the South is not going to raise her voice and loud talk a man that did not disrespect you. You know, if I wasn't interested in you, is that what they teach in the South? You know, a man that's not interested in you, go bad on him. You know, that was a little bit ridiculous. But I say that also because, you know, we have a lot of gang violence out there. We have a lot of kids that this being tough thing is trending too as well. You know, all these kids want to be Pistol Pete, and it seems, you know, all they want to do is just hurt somebody or shoot somebody. Anybody can shoot somebody, anybody can kill somebody, anybody can hurt somebody, beat them up, but everybody can't count 100,000. So go get you some money.
But you know, it goes to the fact of the thug mindset, or what like young Jesus like to call thug. Yeah, I think it's called Thug Mindset 101. Yeah, it's the fuck element that a lot of young youth, I can't say dream about, but they inspire and really imitate because they see what really is the way to be, to move forward as a man, and that is to be extremely thuggish. And one thing about the thug mindset, since I'm going there, it really allows more any man, young man, to move in the community where they will look to be and deem as respectful. Because if you're a lame, a square, or the above, right, you don't get respect in society, especially amongst the group of people, black people generally. You only get respect when you show fear, and you could be that fuck element that you could dish out consequences. And y'all, a lot of young dudes don't want to be the other person where they're just a soft and they can't exude that sense of masculinity. Matter of fact, thug nature is considered masculine in the black community, if you think about it. If you're not a thug, you're not deemed masculine, and that's just so wrong. But yeah, I think that's something that if these people don't understand the significance of the long-term ramifications of engaging that, if they do, they're just going to continue to emulate the behavior. It is what it is. All right, let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Fair use.
That's my best advice to you, man. Go count 100,000.
Yeah,
you
man.
You're putting your energy into the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
Once I started getting some real money, leaving the country, expanding my horizon, seeing that there was more to life than what it is, then I stopped, stop staying around stuff that I got accustomed to. I started moving around, trying to travel the globe, man. Go do something different.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, this one is the one where I'm going to ask you it, but I know that you have to do the catch up with Arlette. So the way I'm going to phrase it is that way we can only address what you have said on your story. And that way, if there's details that Arlette needs to exclusively get, I don't want to take from her, right? Your Instagram posts with your match, right?
All right, so it seems like there's a little vibe here. So is it gonna be yes for you for him?
God says save souls, so yeah.
Oh, and is it a yes for you
It's
for her?
gonna be a hell yes for me.
Okay, we got a match.
Weapon
Let me
X
take
got
this
a
mic
match.
and y'all can go on off.
Weapon X got a match. So as
Yeah.
soon as we uploaded, before our reaction was even on the site for 3-4 hours, there was people letting us know, oh, he's going in, he's exposing everything. Him and his match are going through. With your discretion, can you explain like what is happening? What is happening in this situation right now?
Honestly, there probably won't be a reunion. You know, I'm honestly thinking about.
Now, this is something that I did not know that goes on the Pop the Balloon show on YouTube or on TikTok. I did not know they have like a reunion after people find their match, which is something odd. So it seemed to me this is like a watered down version of I would say Love and Hip Hop mostly, because usually Love and Hip Hop they go through the episodes and after they have a big reunion to self-reflection. That's what comes to my mind, personally. But really, truly, a reunion to see if their matches really hold out. We all know that most of these matches, if you're on a particular talk radio podcast video platform like YouTube or maybe TikTok, you know roughly if anybody finds a match, the chance of people really find their match and going as far as getting the ring and getting down the aisle and getting married, very slim. Because men do hold the keys to relationship and marriage, but will the women follow suit to really take on the marriage, which is another conversation we don't really have. I think now you think about most women out there are very selfish, like the Ebony K. Williams and everybody else in the world. They don't want nothing to do with no man or want no interaction with a man like that, unless maybe she's getting her back blown out. And even that proves that, that's not enough. So obviously, women you deal with today are very much disconnected. And not only the disconnect, but they're broken. They're so broken to the point they think it's normal now just be out of life, being alone, and even go as far as having a child by himself and let the child hold the great burden with the single parent, which I find it to be very wrong. Very wrong indeed. But let's keep going. Fair use.
Not getting back on a reunion just because, I've already had to move out of my place. It's just been too much internet. I'm going out to the gym. I can't even work out. People coming up to me. It's just too much, honestly. But I will say, what happened was when we met, I was interested in her. We had a very pleasant conversation behind the scenes. And, after the conversation, we were on our way to having a good night. And I'm not talking, a physical night. It was just, we hit it off well. Right. And I was really looking forward to seeing what happened with this woman. I was impressed how, she was an independent thinker. I honestly thought she was going to pop her balloon, but I didn't really care, because like I told everyone before I got there, I'm going to be myself.
Right.
I was impressed. She's not a follower. She is an independent thinker, but, I am under the impression that she is also looking for a helpmate as well. Because after I was arguing with the girl and I told her, I could pull out 100,000. If you look before the video, before the girl and Caleb popped her balloon, she raised her balloon like she was getting ready to, throw it on the floor, do something to that effect. But
well, let's check this out. See if he's right. I got the video. Let's look at it. Let's see if he's right about that.
Hello, welcome. Have you?
Yes.
Do we still have two balloons?
No.
Okay, let's go over here. I saw you hesitate. That's why I had to ask. So if we can have.
Originally, I was in every girl that offensive to me, but I don't want to say I'm arguing. It's gonna always be a problem because I was just like, dang. But then with me, get at you too. You kind of look like a Ninja Turtle. You're not that cute. And I was trying to be respectful, but
Yeah.
like you was really coming out like I didn't like it. I'm from the South and I can handle like a lot of criticism and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but the way you was coming, you just ain't like you got it all like that. And I guarantee you probably got a roommate at home and it's just not giving anymore.
Yeah. Well, let me say this, Queen. I'm a licensed plumber.
So, and I do real estate and property
I
management.
live
So what you
downtown.
do ain't
I live
nothing compared to
downtown.
me.
I stay by myself, Queen. You know, and you're not even qualified to be even
You
dealing
say
with
everybody
me.
not qualified.
You definitely not. You know, if anything, it was one of these two. I wasn't even looking your way. You
And
ain't
the
even
one
my
that you
type.
wanted popped
If I
up
seen, that's fine.
So what?
That's totally fine.
Okay.
But one thing about me, I could pull 100,000 on the bank. Can you do the same?
Get this
yeah,
man
you can't.
Now you see, I'm looking at the video very well, and I did not see her the last one in the black by the popper balloon. So I'm not sure where the guy named Hanson was implying that because you revealed that you could pull 100K out the bank, that made her decision not to really pop the balloon. I don't see it. I do not see it at all. Let me keep playing.
Do that. You can't do that though, baby. Yeah, in a real way. You can't do that though, Queen.
All right.
Yeah, she's not popping a balloon. So, you know, whoever told him that, he was all faking it, person. So, all right, let's keep going with the tape.
I said how much money I had. Then she was, she didn't pop. Okay, we matched. So once we went backstage, we were having a good conversation, and Chandler, the guy with the dreads that had the anime shirt.
Yeah.
Suits off wearing like what they're comfortable with.
I
So
get
you
that.
tell me, like, what do you want your man to like? How do you want your man to dress? How do you want your man to look?
Would you dress like this on the first date with me?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is what I'm comfortable
Why not?
with.
Okay.
This is who I am.
Hey, I love that. I respect that. It's just if like you dress like that on the first date, I would probably walk out.
So then my next question is, how do you want your man to dress on the first date?
Yes, Tevin. Yes, that's what happened. Dude lost his job all because of his choices. Yeah. And you got to understand, Tevin, women like this, if you look at the lovely ladies on the panel, and I'm going to flip this here.
If we can have
All these ladies, and I can't show the other ones because I got to wind back. That's it. Wind back. All these ladies, right? And what? All the way back. There you go. All these ladies, as you can tell, Tevin, right? They're not fat. One could probably dress a little better. You know what I'm talking about. And they look pretty decent. One, especially a woman, I think she could be non-FDA. She could be from Africa, maybe from the island. The one on the right, the one with the blue, I think it's some cloth. They're not big. But what separates them from modern women is how they carry themselves and how they interact with the opposite sex. And as you can tell, only, let me count. And you won't see my mouse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, yeah, only 5 of them carry themselves a little better attitude-wise. A little bit, just a little bit. The only ones that were the ratchets was the lady in blue. You know what I'm talking about, the one with the tattoo on her left arm. And this woman that got on all red. And the funny thing about her, I've been hearing a lot of people been saying about her that if she's not over the age of 40, and has no kids, which I know she has kids, her chest should not be sagging like that. And trust me, we know some women out there that got sagging chests. Like literally. But the outfit she got on, it does her no justice. Especially with the tattoo. Black women, please, for God's sake, stop it. Stop putting tattoos on your chest. It's not sexy. It's very unattractive. I don't know why you still do it. And here's the funny thing. I'm going to go there. I have to go there. Either if you're light skinned or dark brown or dark black, you should never, out of any tattoo, if you're going to go there, your tattoo should not be visible for anybody to see. That means you should have no excessive arm tattoos, chest tattoos. Hell, even a back tattoo, if it's too big, you shouldn't have that. And even go as far as a thigh tattoo. Your best bet is that your tattoo should be placed on your body where no one can barely see it and don't notice you had a tattoo. And the parts of the body that I could tell where it'd be better if you're gonna have a tattoo of any nature, I can't reveal it. You gotta do your imagination. Yeah, thank you. I know. Anyhow, let's keep going. I just gotta show the ladies. Yeah, especially the lady in blue. She definitely has some attitude. It's very disgusting. It's giving off very much ratchet vibes. Fair use.
Bring back that dark skin, man.
Oh, before I go on, y'all know the time. Y'all know the drill.
I want my money.
I told you.
Where is my money?
Betty. Bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
Make sure to support the channel. Hit the super chat or cash app, either or. All donations goes to the Chaos Rain Show. Appreciate it. Fair use, and let's continue.
You do with the open.
Oh,
yeah. My brother. Yeah. Okay.
Well, your brother
Yeah.
can learn a few things.
Got it.
He approaches, right? And the only reason why I'm putting this out there because she got on live and tried to say, you know, I wasn't handsome, she wasn't interested in me, and you know, she tried to redirect the story, and that's not what happened.
Right.
You know, Chandler comes up to her and he's like, he pulls out his phone, he hands her his phone, and he asks for her number, her Instagram. Now, this is not my woman, you know, so I'm not gonna address had it been my woman. You know, we would probably engage in a good old fisticuff right there.
Right.
But since it's not, you know, I'm gonna check her. What I do is a temperature check. Like, hey, you know, hey, baby, is that what you doing? She told me, you know, she did it right in front of my face. Like, took his phone, got to typing her information in, and that's what I said. I'm not about to pour into you, and you're showing interest in front of my face. That's blatant disrespect.
Yeah.
Chandler, he said Chandler, the dude with the anime shirt.
Chandler's the one that ended up getting the young woman that they called Motherly.
The one that got the anime girl?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes. And my thing is, you know, you two had the opportunity to match with one another. So why would you wait till after the show, you know, to give him you should have matched with him and not me.
Yeah.
So after this transpired, after the show's done and over with, you know, I heard one of my fans sent me a video, and they were like, "Hey, look at this." And Esther was in the video, you know, saying she wouldn't date a man that's not financially stable.
Oh.
And right there, that was big red flag to me, because you know.
Well, we gotta keep in mind, and the people that don't know who Esther is, I'll show you who Esther is.
Deal breaker, being permissive.
Let me show you who Esther is. Let me fast forward. This is Esther on the right, and I heard one particular content creator did a live about Esther and what her views of this brother, and I doubt they probably had anything of seriousness. Because what the information the guy named Hanson said about her, I would totally agree with her. Because if your standards at 23, and maybe she might be turned 24, because I'm not sure what year she was born. I could say she born either 2001 or 2020 or 2000. Baby, you don't got really expectations or subpar standards. Now, I can't say that you should always look for a man that has money, or it should be the main focus right off the bat. Because, and I mean because loosely, because most young women like yourself are out here having fun. You're not taking life serious like that. I wish more people, not only women but young men, take life a little more seriously, especially in their 20s. You know? But that's another story. But she, like most modern women, are not taking life real seriously. They're out here just having fun and just screwing around. And screwing around has consequences. It costs you, you know, if you're not careful. So, all right, let's continue. Very serious.
God forbid I pull a muscle in the gym or I get hurt at work. You know, that's why I said I want a woman with a career, a self-sufficient woman. What if I get injured? I need a woman that could take the torch to make sure that our foundation doesn't crumble. Because
Right.
you can't build a home without a solid foundation.
Right. Dang, bro.
Yeah, so she played herself, honestly. And I'm the type of man, you know, when I meet a woman, I'm a Cancer. You know, I walk into the situation like, okay, this is the last one. You know, everybody else gets ignored. It's me and you. And that's what she could have had a husband, really. She truly, honestly could have had one, but she played herself out.
Were they the only ones that exchanged information, or did everybody in the cast?
No, so they said she gave Rhino her number, and she gave it's supposed to be a guy on episode 12 that's coming out that she gave her as well while they was in the stand.
No.
Yeah, so come on, man, like this was a joke to these women. They're looking for a helpmate. And then, okay, this is another thing that they did too. So they were all on live. They were talking about me, you know, painting their little false narrative or whatever.
I saw a little bit of that.
Fans direct me to the live. I get over there, they end the live.
Yeah.
They end it. They say, oh, it's been an hour, it just shut down. Right? So when they come back to the live.
No, they ended live because they don't want to get exposed when you came up there and then start checking them with their bullish. I know the feeling. Trust me. I know the feeling. And they'll do that, especially if it's a crowd of women, and some unfortunate simps will sit there, will talk crap about you, like really talk crap about it, and make money off it, which they did. You came in and spoiled the party, which they didn't like. Which I think they should be upfront, honest, and still continue with the conversation. But, you know, when you try and do things under the dark and, you know, make a quick buck, and then the real person comes out to defend himself, you start to shut that down. It's telling. And yeah, I do see some of the content that the so-called women that So Handsome was interacting with were out there trying to on his brother and tell him that he is this person, he's a bum, all that stuff. And I'm saying, cool. But my biggest question, why were you interacting and entertaining a bum? Would be my biggest question. I'm just saying. Anyhow, Fairies.
They trying to get me to come in there. I'm not getting in there. You know, I don't want to participate in that. Truth beats the brains out of falsehood 10 out of 10 times. So I'm not going to indulge in any falsehood, you know? So when they get back on the live, they all get that. I found it very strange. And man, I'm super sharp. I'm talking super sharp, very observant. They get off the live. I'm sure they all coordinating this on the phone. Hey, you should ask me this question, right? So now they're on the live talking about, hey, if you could date this guy, you know, which guy would you talk to? Oh, I would date this guy from episode 4. She'd date this guy for episode 6. Now they're just putting it out there, you know, so these guys reach out to them, and they just did this for attention. And it's any guy that reaches out, like any guy that reaches out to them, any type women like that, bro, y'all can have them. You're doing yourself a major disservice, because after she get in them pockets and run your money dry, they go on to the next, man. They on to the next.
Dang, man. And this is why we made this point on one of the videos we did. I think we said it on the reunion. It's not Arlette Amuli. It's not her fault her show is going the way it's going.
It's not BM's fault either.
It's not BM's either. And it's also not Tippendale's, because we saw how he runs his Pop the Balloon. He had a rant on one of his videos about the stuff that the show does. And one lady on there was like, after you get us a match, you should also be the ones that set us up on the date and make sure that we keep in contact. And I made this point. I said, why is that the host responsibility? Yeah, why is that the host's job to guide y'all through the rest of y'all relationship?
It's not really their job, but I'll go even further. And I said this earlier. It is your responsibility as the person that create the show to really have to really evaluate the people that you have on there, if it's beneficial for both sexes. And what I mean, since he's so handsome, did lose his job. And a lot of men are covering this, including me. It's only going to set a precedence of who is going to continue to entertain the Bloom Poppin' show. Will it be productive men? And really, to be honest with you, if men are really productive like that and have their own jobs, career, etc., or even got their own practice, it's hard for me to see them continue, and I mean continuously, to look for black women on these type of podcasts, especially if that's who they want. And it shows proven evident that most black men still want black women, regardless what they say. Regardless what they say, is they can't get the actual one they want, but they're still searching and they hoping to find it through these weirdo podcasts. Ain't that something? Anyhow, let's continue. Fair use.
And y'all was the ones that picked each other.
If you're genuinely trying to find love or genuinely trying to match with somebody, it shouldn't be left up to the host on whether or not y'all go on a date.
And so now I'm even more irritated because, one, don't go on that show and get a match and then not even commit to the match, because now it makes Arlette's show look so unauthentic, and it's not even on her. And so now we got you got a match on the show. Everybody's like, oh, I can't wait to see they catch up. But they didn't make the women on that show, or the people, I don't even want to put it on women, but the contestants on that show made it so uncomfortable for other contestants on that show who were genuinely looking for love. It sucks to hear that you don't want to do the reunion. You don't want to do the
catch up and stuff.
Because there's a lot of people that are waiting for you to do the catch up, and it's just that sucks. That sucks.
I'm probably not gonna do it. It's just so much slander, and these women, they not ready. Like, I'm ready. I could feel it in my bones. You know, I know exactly what I want and what I'm looking for, and that's why I'm very direct in my approach. You know, because I'm here and I'm ready. These women, they not. So, I mean, what else can we do? But I think Arlette is doing a phenomenal job at being a host.
Arlette.
She is a spectacular host, one of the best hosts, if not the best host, you know, on these dating show games. They certainly need to give her a Netflix or something, you know. Shout out to Arlette. Shout out to BM, everybody that made Love Quester, that made this possible. And may God continue to bless you all abundantly.
Right. We gonna keep it
also,
going.
Let me add this too. Me and Esther, we did not go on a date. You know, I disqualified her immediately. I turned.
Now, we're gonna listen closely on this one. He's gonna explain detail why he actually disqualified her, and that's why he might not go to the reunion because of this. Let's hear this closely. Closely, I say.
Around. Kayla tried to put on Instagram that I was arguing and all of this. What am I gonna argue for? The only reason why I'm arguing, and I'm not even really arguing, I'm shutting it down again because I'm a man, I'm a king, you know. Don't talk over me. But we didn't go on a date, you know. After I disqualified her, that was the end of that. You know, they said that we were arguing. Wasn't no argument. Period. I left, me and my brother left, and that was the end of that. She has reached out back to me. You know, I don't know if you guys seen the screenshots or not, but she lied to the internet, you know, stating she had no interest in me whatsoever. So I had to upload the screenshot. She did send me her number, and she was requesting me to call her. And I honestly, I was thinking about calling her because.
Let me look at that text again. Hold on. All right, fair use.
Did send me her number, and she was requesting me to call her. And I honestly, I was thinking about calling her because, you know, she's aware more than those other girls. She is God-fearing, and y'all do not penalize her. You know, she's a young woman. She's only 23. You know, she still has some more maturing to do. But after this experience, I told myself, you know, I would at least want to deal with a woman that's 25 or above, because I feel like, you know, at 25 years old, that's when you hit that maturity point. You know, but Esther really thought it was acceptable giving out her number. And I just had to upload the screenshot to show everybody, you know, I'm the truth, man. I'm not going to lie about nothing. The woman did reach out to me. She did want a second chance with me. I thought about it, but I honestly, I'm not doing no second chances and you showing signs of promiscuity. It's not going down.
Well, one thing with Esther, and I agree with the brother. There's some things, if you're going to deal with any man of any status or of age, you got to be into the man. You have to be into the man. And I think too much Western women waste too much man's time, in my opinion. Waste too much time. And because they waste too much time, there's some in and he's 30, he's probably 30 in Sunday. Once a man gets up there in age, his tolerance to deal with ish very much is not high. So and let's be honest, Esther at 23, and she's still messing around. She's gonna be messing around until she's like maybe in her early 30s or close to that before she decides to settle down. And the reason why, in my opinion, she's gonna wait till she gets to age, because she, in her mind, she has the options that some dudes go sit there, you know, might flaunt her, maybe spoil a little bit, might treat like a little baby because she is still young. But once past her age, you know, you gotta really grow up. And I think what a lot of people say, they're not growing up there, I think they're really regressing as they get older. That's why, in my opinion, the advice is given that he's away from women that's like what 25 and up to deal with. Bro, any woman, modern woman today that's of any age, even go as far as 20, are not going to mature. Wherever they are in their late teens or early 20s, they're going to remain that as they get older. Trust me on this. Very serious.
Yeah. And I want to say this. I'm going to make sure I put his socials throughout the whole video, because I also want him to start being able to grow his platform as well, because you have a great internet personality, even with just us talking. Even though we're rookies to this, I've been doing content creation for the past 7 years. So you have a good personality, you have a solid head on your shoulder, and there's going to be a lot of people that, if this doesn't blow up the way you're blowing up right now, I imagine that you're going to get more and more interviews from people. So I pray that I pray that God keeps putting you in the right platforms for you to get your voice out. So I'm gonna pray that for you. But I want people to go, if you guys, like I say every time when people try to bring Bible arguments up to me and all that, I say it every time on our videos. Don't take what people say for face value. Go do the research. If he has the screenshots and everything, I encourage everybody, go to his page, _handsome. Go check out his page. Go look at the screenshots, because at the end of the day, evidence is key. Right? So we're gonna move on to the next part, because I don't want to keep you here for too long, right?
Good.
You already said it a little bit. You touched on it a little bit earlier when you said that you don't treat women, you court them. What for the men, to give this lesson to the men, because I know as soon as you said it, I understood what it is. I'm married. A lot of the stuff that is said now, I understand it because I had to learn that the hard way. And people think they see us right here, they don't understand. Marriage is not just a happy moment. Marriage is a very, very long journey. So for the men that are in your situation, because for some reason, married men can't give advice to single men no more. Single men have to give the advice to single men, and married men can only talk to married men, because the second I say it, it's what do you know? You're married. Yeah, you're married. You're out of the game. You got lucky, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, That's cool. So we got lucky enough to have a man here that has his morals and he has his head on straight. What is the difference? And so you could teach the men out here, what is the difference between treating a woman and courting a woman? What is the difference?
So nowadays, a lot of
Before he goes to that, I'm running this other commercial.
I want my money.
I told you.
Where is my money?
Betty. Bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
Make sure you guys support the channel. Hit the Cash App, Super Chat, the Chaos Reign Show. As always, support will be going well. Now, he says he courts women. Okay, good. Very good. Very good. Very good. So, in this courtmanship, and let's say he was messing with that one particular Latina. If he's dealing with you, and ladies, you gotta understand this. I'm not a proponent of wasting each other's time, personally. I'm not a proponent of that. I think the most, if anything is a solid relationship, it should not go past 2 years. Roughly. I hear relationships that people are in are 3, 4, 5, even some go as decades long, and there's no marriage or anything of the outcome. And a lot of people say they stay in these type of situationships, relationships, because it's better, because anytime when things go wrong, they just move their separate ways. No contractual agreement, which is fine. But let's be honest. If your woman and marriage is the goal and you really want to be a wife, you better prioritize it as early as possible, and no gray as you're walking out your 20s going to 30s. You want to at least be somewhat wed. All right, we're gonna continue. Where is it? And I'm not sure where I left off. To be honest with y'all. Let me see. All right. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on, guys.
And the only reason why
show personality,
you have to go above and beyond to assure, your significant other that you love them wholeheartedly.
All right, here I am.
A lot of the stuff that is said now, I understand it because I had to learn that the hard way. And people think they see us right here. They don't understand marriage is not just a happy moment. Marriage is a very, very long journey. So for the men that are in your situation, because for some reason, married men can't give advice to single men no more. Single men have to give the advice to single men, and married men can only talk to married men, because the second I say it, it's a,
what do you know? You're married.
Yeah, you're married. You're out of the game. You got lucky, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, that's cool. So we got lucky enough to have a man here that has his morals and he has his head on straight. What is the difference? And so you could teach the men out here, what is the difference between treating a woman and courting a woman? What is the difference?
So nowadays, a lot of men tend to lead with their money because they don't possess any real attributes that a man should have and trying to cultivate a woman to become his wife, you know? So when I say treating a woman, like I said earlier before, giving her a little doggy biscuit, you know, not a woman in general, but I'm saying a treat. I'm hypothetically speaking,
like a cheap gift or something.
Right.
Yeah. A cheap guy, a cheap skate, taking her out on cheap dates, just doing the bare minimum. You know,
Right.
I know to manifest a healthy relationship that you have to sacrifice, and sometimes, you know, you have to go above and beyond to assure, you know, your significant other that you love them wholeheartedly and you want this to work, especially when it comes to marriage, because you're making an oath, you're making a covenant with God as well, not just with your partner. So, you know, people take things like that lightly. And when I court a woman, my woman, you know, I would say, you know, when she comes home, I'm gonna have the bathwater ran. You know, courting a woman, you being romantic, you're being a gentleman. You know, how many times do you see out in public, because we're out in public all day, every day, you don't see men holding the car, the door open for women anymore. When he gets out the car, does he walk around and open the door? That's what I do. You know, anytime you see me in public, anybody in the comments, if you ever see me in public, you know, I promise you, I don't even walk inside of a gas station first. If it's a woman behind me, I'm going to open the door for her and let all the women and everybody walk inside. You know, I'm going to rub my woman's feet. You know, I cook, I clean, I do everything that I can, you know, to remove some of the burden off of my woman. I make sacrifices as well too. And that's what being in a relationship and a healthy marriage is about. You have to compromise. Never compromise your values, but you have to compromise, you know, things that are compromisable to make it work.
Okay.
Well, you know, to the brother, that's cool. He is actually a modern man, which is fine. Nothing's wrong with it. Nothing's wrong with that. And I'm surprised that slipped out of the mindset of a lot of men that cover this stream. It didn't slip my mind when I caught that. Can't speak for anybody else. So I'm probably gonna end it here. Yeah, so it shouldn't be so hard for him to find a woman, and he doesn't really talk about the 50-50, which is fine, but he has to keep in mind, you as a modern man moving the way you are, most women are going to actually today want you to do more while they do less. That's the trouble you're gonna be facing, my brother. So handsome. And that's not to mention, if you go outside the country to find a mate, they're going to expect you to do the same thing, but they're going to take the blunt work off of you, and you don't have to clean and cook all that stuff. Now, if you pamper them also, they probably will be shocked for that. But all the other small essentials, women that's not modernized here in America, they got you covered, bro. So obviously, I see in the near future, he's probably going to deal with more non-black women, which he's already dealing with already. Let's keep real. So that's not going to stop. I don't know who anybody told him that it's going to stop anytime soon. But, you know, it is what it is. This is it for the stream. I ain't going further than that. Y'all know the deal, y'all. If y'all did appreciate and like what I did today, I would sure love if y'all support the channel. Hit the super chat, Cash App, or etc. Wait, who's this? Somebody back? All right, I'll let you up. Yeah, go talk. I'm not gonna stay here long. Go ahead. What's up? What's up, Shatter? Go ahead. As he gets mic open, please, guys.
Hey, what's going on, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. Good. What's good? What's good,
man? Man, I see you about to close it out over here, man. I was just hitting you, man. Shit, I seen what you was talking about, man. Hey, open panel, man. But I feel what you're saying, though, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All I have to say is this, man. You know, when as black men do we ever go against each other when we see another brother going and holding his own? That's what pisses me off about it, though, bro. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know, a man out there, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, you got enough of these feminist-minded women. Bad enough we got that, but then we got these feminist men that will sit there and talk down on a man for holding women accountable for what they do and they say. And, you know, we as men, you know, we don't do that as me and you and men that we think like alike. But we see all these people. I've lost hope in some of these people because I'm like, man, how can you see any wrong from a man holding his own? I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. I don't understand why it's even a debate about it.
Yeah. You know, Shatter, people move differently nowadays, and good reason, because people are selfish. I mean, when we talk about women don't move like women and men don't move like enough, because a lot of people downright are too selfish. You know, you give some, you take some, and like I said, with the brother so handsome that he does, you know, modern man stuff, like a real mama, he does clean, cook, and also, and will pamper his woman, which is cool. That's fine. But when you ask, you know, a woman in regards to have her own and you will do this, that is in the mindset of some people, that is unfortunate 50-50, you know, so-called relationship. And let's be fair, honest. Most people are going to be doing half of some things anyway. There's not some that's 100% and someone else that's not doing nothing. I don't think no person today is going to deal with any person. If they got it like that, a person that's coming to life not contribute to nothing. I mean, I don't see no person that does do it.
You don't always have to be financial. Okay, yeah, that's part of it, yeah, for sure. But like you just said, and it was the traditional role of a woman to a man, right? Was the homemaker, the wash the clothes, cook the food, make sure the kids is good. Brother go out and make some money. Yeah, she might have some side hustles or, you know, make some money, but the brother never did count on that money as part of his monthly, I know what I got to pay for type of thing. So even if a man is saying 50-50, and we know this in normal time, that's just a hope and a dream. You know, you got to take care of your business for your family regardless. So you can't depend on no woman doing nothing, and that's a traditional man. Women want to be equality in the equal type of system that we have now that's being pushed upon them. You know, they look at, well, you know, instead of being 50-50 equal, no, they want to be 200% you and 5% them. Based solely on what my sexual marketplace value as in my mind I feel. Or whatnot, even though they might not be in a good position, their sexual marketplace value might be lower. But then, you know, this internet and the simps, can't blame it all on the technology. Have to blame it on live simps who will give these women money, and that's why they look stupid when they have a real man come up in front of their face, not simping, and tell them exactly what it is. It makes them feel some kind of way that they don't like. And, you know, that's not a bad thing, because I always tell people, guess what? Those women sit up there on that panel, and I'm going to tell you, you know, that was a show and this and that. But it's a prime example, but it was a show, Chaos. What I'm saying is this. Had that been like, you know, let's say these women, you know, this is a street thing where it wasn't, you know, on video or whatever, you know, I bet you whatever they say, that hive mind mentality or whatever they doing, where they was popping the balloon, I would guarantee you, man, to $1 to $1 bucket, or you know what, that most of those women that were saying that they wouldn't date it, As soon as the show is over and they get away from the older women, they're gonna be all up in this man's phone, all up in the inbox all day, every day. And that's the God honest truth about most of this stuff. And that's the damn thing that don't nobody want to recognize. Especially some of these male feminists. I don't understand what they're even saying.
Yeah, you're right. And one other thing, because I'm gonna soon close this, is that even the conversation about women that do this type of behavior that would go as far as make sure the man lose employment. It goes to the factor that when women tell me said they're tired of surveys, I say you're lying, because the men you deal with or you entertain or you feel comfortable is ones that are compromised, have no employment. That sometimes you play a part, getting fired. Unfortunately, I don't like to say this, but I'm starting to notice now that the better off the man doesn't really have, better the woman is more attracted. The minute you do look like you got some and you can't be compromised is where they don't stay around long with you. Matter of fact, they're already planning their exit as we speak.
Of course. And his situation is not new. The brother's a younger brother. He's not yet to reach 30 yet. And
no, he's about to be 30 in Sunday. Turn 30 to Sunday.
All right. Well, he's reaching the threshold of the big 30. So, I'm glad that before then he's actually got some of these things in his mind. But I will give you this one. And this is just pertinent to the cause. Think about it. This man is 20-something years old. He's got his own thing going. And I've seen a brother in a similar situation. He wasn't a plumber, but he was working with a contract company. And let's just say, a woman got mad at him and she knew what kind of vehicle he drove. She knew what kind of business he worked for and the names. She knew how to contact these people. She knew what he did because why? Because he pillow talked with her, right? It's another thing. Watch your pillow talk. See, that could have been a problem, in and of itself, that as well. Because now those broads on top of there, they just the front ones. The last broad that he been messing with still salty. So she see him up there handling the next ones. She still want her. So she'd call in, and tell the other ones, we put 500 calls over there. She'd get the squad, and they'll go and beehive it up and get the man fired. And this happened to my brother. And I was like, man, at the time, I seen the man tax return. And he was making upwards of $75K. Now, this is back in 2010, right? And so he was like, man, I lost his job, man. I lost his job. It was bad. He said that the woman told the people he was using the company van to come over there and fuck her. And also said that, excuse my language, they also said that he was using the truck to go do for hire jobs. And on the side of your truck, if you're a contractor, it's going to say not for hire. That's the reason why that's there. And so that because you work for this company, you cannot take jobs for anyone else if you're in our vehicle. Okay. So your side hustle jobs, you can't do it. So if the woman ever even mentions or she can destroy you because they're going to terminate you because you've been using your truck to, at the very least, go and mess with these broads and they done called in on you. So we got to get rid of you. And you're black. So you're gone, Chaos. You know this, right? So then, my man's told me about the situation, how I'm telling you now. And then he was back. And guess what happened? Now to this day? That brother went and started his own company with his license, got a whole deal going on, brother. And now he makes like at least 4 to 5 times. He's making at least $250,000, $300,000 or more a year now. Got 4 or 5 trucks, his own vans and trucks. And got a house on the river, all kind of things, man, all kind of 4-wheelers and you name it, jet skis and boats. But it took that one little thing. Yeah, it was bad. The broad toll on you, but then you use your trade and you went and did it off on your own. You didn't have to work for Mr. Charlie no more, Chaos.
Yeah.
So she went at Mr. Charlie to try to get you down. That's what they do. They go to their daddy, Mr. Charlie, to try to take you out. Right or wrong?
Yeah, listen. As much as black women, because they're the ones that they made the contract to get this man fired, they do love white people, including what they consider white supremacy. Don't be fooled. I mean, and right now I got to cut this short because I wish we could have this conversation longer, but I've been on this long enough. So I think I'll leave it.
Just finish your point though.
But wait, the point I'm probably gonna say is this: that is expected, because if anything break glass, they always got someone to fall under or fall back to keep your black ass in line. But that's pretty much it. I'd like to thank everybody for listening to today's stream. I appreciate it. Like always, links to follow me, guys. I'm gonna do this. Hold on a second. Links to follow me is Twitter, Chaos Reign 7. Add me on Facebook, Eric Rain. Join my Discord service. Join or follow me on Rumble, CRain23 Rumble. And please become a member of the Chaos Reign Show as well. I surely appreciate it. Leave a comment at the end of this video. I'll be looking forward to the comments of this one. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and please give this video a like also. Thank you for watching, guys. That's pretty much it. And let's see. Until next time, guys, let it chaos reign.